Hello everyone, Rich Carlton here. Welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker training. I'm the creator of fmtrain.tv, where we create great FileMaker content every single day. Some days are better than other days. Hopefully today is one of the better days. So at 1 o'clock Pacific time, we're broadcasting in high definition to YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. We got people from all over the place logging in. Today's going to be a very exciting day. Before we get to today, let's talk about the upcoming broadcast schedule. So the upcoming broadcast schedule today, Kristian. Tomorrow, Kristian again, the same topic tomorrow. As a reminder, if you want to support the channel, you appreciate all the hard work things that we're doing. Even if you don't appreciate us, we still recommend that you buy the FileMaker on-demand training. The on-demand training is a way for you to watch the video training that you need to see when you want to see it. So this is a great interaction. We're going to have questions, we have answers, we talk back to you. And the reality is that if you want to watch something about today, relationships or script triggers today or something like that, that's not what we're covering. We're covering how to build your very first add-on modules. So the on-demand training is better because it's organized by topics. The price varies here, as you can see, from $199 to $299 a year. There's even a 2-year option on it if you're interested in that. If you have questions about this, if you want to buy it, you can go straight here to fmtrain.tv, press the bundle button right here. But if you have questions about any of this, you want to reach out to us directly, just email support@rcconsulting.com. So the goal today, let me be very clear about today's goal. So today's goal, and for those of you, so like Kyle is not here. Now Kyle may not be here because maybe his boss is in the office and that boss is keeping an eye on Kyle. But if you're already building add-on modules, then this is going to be very boring. A very boring conversation. It's not about SQL and warp drive. And this is like basic 101. We're going to build an add-on. So what is an add-on? I guess, Kristian, you want to spend just a minute and explain to us kind of what an add-on is, would be great. And then we're going to step by step all build together. So I have a separate computer over here. I'm going to be following along. You should be following along on your computer. So the whole idea is it's one of the only times we've done a classroom. Like everyone got it, step 1, step 2, step 3, you're going to build an add-on. Then you're going to understand what an add-on is, and then you can build more of them yourself if you want, is the idea. Okay? So, Kristian, what is an add-on real quick? You got like 90-second answer for that.
I can answer that pretty shortly. An add-on is a FileMaker file that is installable into another FileMaker file.
Okay, so basically, Claire's calls it add-ons because most people, they put some sort of feature or widget in it that you might need, like say signature capture on a Mac, which Macs don't do signature capture. And so then you could drag and drop it on your screen, then you'd have signature capture magically, auto-magically, right? So, but today we're not doing signature capture. We're just constructing the add-on, the payload, the idea of building. It's like we're showing how to get a truck and drive a truck from point A to point B. It doesn't matter what's in the back of the truck. The back of the truck is the thing you're delivering. We're talking about the vehicle to move it and build the add-on, right? We're building the truck today. Does that make sense, I guess, kind of, a little bit?
I think so. And as Richard said, this, unlike some of our other streams, is going to be very reminiscent to elementary school. We're all going to pull out a piece of paper and our crayons, and I'm going to show you step-by-step how to create exactly what's on the board. This isn't going to be an add-on that you would actually use, but that's not our goal. Our goal today is to teach from the very beginning user, and maybe even up to the more advanced users. I know Nick was going to watch this. How do you make an add-on? That doesn't even get into what an actual add-on would be and how to make add-ons effective to install into files, but really just helps us to understand the basic mechanics of how it works.
So we have Megan. So Megan is like our unfortunately, it's like our test rabbit. You know, we're unfortunately, this is a very bad analogy, but we are a pharmaceutical company testing to make sure the shampoo doesn't kill any humans. So we're going to test it on the rabbit first. So Megan is our test tube rabbit. And so we're gonna constantly be checking it with Megan to make sure she's following along. She's on the more beginner side of things, although probably that's misleading because she's been hanging out with the training, which means she's probably almost a senior engineer already because she watches the training so much. But we want to make sure she's following along. Bunny doesn't seem to be here, and so we can't use Bunny from the Netherlands as a test subject. So for those of you watching on YouTube and Discord or Twitch, follow along. Definitely following and ask questions, okay? Definitely ask questions. It's going to be question intensive, right? So, all right, so everyone ready? All right, Kristian, are you ready? Are you ready to begin?
I am. I'm trying to get the questions open on Twitch, just though I'm not going to be really watching those too much. Yes. All right. Ready to go. So the first thing is I want everybody to go ahead and open up their FileMaker on their computer. This is very much a follow-on as you go.
Check. FileMaker is open. Everyone, open FileMaker. You have 20 seconds or less.
And it needs to be FileMaker 19.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully no one will say something really horrible like
so if your icon isn't a black circle that has C's in it, if it's turquoise and is the old year, this is not going to work.
Those are Pac-Man. Those aren't C's. Those are Pac-Man.
Those are Pac-Man.
Yeah. I tried to explain that to Claris, and they didn't think I was being very funny. I'm like, well, I'm not the goofball who named it after the most popular arcade game from the 1980s. So, all right.
And then we also shared a checklist. Why don't you guys go ahead and open up the checklist?
Okay.
I tried to make this thing where you can have it fairly small. You can also drag it out and make it bigger, as you can see on my screen there. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same steps, though I have a already baked pie, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and up here, I'm going to go to create new. I'm going to make a blank file. I'm going to go a little quick here, but so
we're going to create a new file. I'm on a new file. What are we going to do? Blank file? Blank file.
I'm going to call this box.
Create.
I'm going to save it to my desktop.
Okay, now some of you asked, we're making today our application as a box. Now, some of you want to do a circle, you can, okay?
You can really do whatever you want. Now, Richard, this part's probably going to throw you off a little bit. So I'm going to go slow here. After you guys make the file, it's going to put you into Manage Database.
Yes.
And I really want to hammer home the simplicity of this. So we're actually going to do something unusual here. I want you to go to Tables and delete the only table that it created.
Oh, shit. Okay. Here
go to the relationship
delete.
graph, and just delete it.
And that says, we'll also remove all the occurrences of the table, all the TOs. Remove all TOs too.
This is a file with no tables, no fields,
and no TOs.
No scripts.
Okay, good. Okay, so then I hit OK, or what are we going to do now?
Yep, we're going to hit OK, and we're going to get our layout. And I might suggest, though, this is a bit up to you guys. I'm going to delete my header, or the top navigation. I don't need it.
Layout mode, make my top navigation, delete. Got it.
And then I'm going to grab, and you can literally just click on the parts if you're not aware of this, select it, and then delete if you want to. This part right here is really up to you of what you want to bake today. And I'm going to make my window much smaller so it's more usable. Okay, and I'm going to try to make my window a little bit smaller here. Okay. And now I've got a blank white canvas to work on. And I'm going to pause for a moment.
Yep, I want to welcome everyone. I want to welcome Eddie. If you have questions along the way, Fernando from Venezuela, Robert. Yeah, I have to mention Robert already. Yeah, so Peter Geens, right? So Peter, thank you for being sympathetic, because that's kind of mayhamic here as a word, mayhem and crazy all at the same time. So any questions? No one questions? All right, we're following along. Okay, keep going.
Perfect. And if we go to our checklist, so right now we need to come up with an idea. So following along with the checklist, the idea that I have is that I have a box so great, and this might be a circle or something else for you all, that I'd like the ability to add this into files very quickly. So that's my idea. I've come up with an idea. I'm going to check it off. And the next thing I need to do is I need to make a demo file of what my add-on should be.
Okay, hang on one second. So why don't we go ahead and shut off just for now your camera for the moment, because
absolutely
it's killing the pipe coming in, and that'll make the oops, I just really made.
Let me know if that helps. I've also got Twitch open. I can kill Twitch if that's.
It's not. Well, don't watch the video. If you're watching a video, just get the text. Turn the video off. Okay, because you started talking and then your lips quit moving and then we didn't check anything off. So go ahead and yes, we're going to check off the second item. Make add demo file. Okay, great.
And it is, you can rename this. It doesn't have to be right as you make it, but I would name your demo file, what you want your add-on to be called. This will come up later. An example would be virtual menus. One of you guys have seen me demonstrate, but today my add-on is going to be called box.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Now what?
So now what we need to do is we need to go and we need to make the demo. So we're not on step 3 yet. We need to go ahead and make our boxes now.
Okay.
For those of you who maybe aren't as familiar with some of the tools that you actually have the ability to just draw a rectangle on screen.
All right.
So I'm going to draw my box, and you know what? I think I want my box to have a deep border. So I'm going to do 4. I'm going to give it some color here. You guys can do, get as creative as you want to with this part. Maybe you want to throw like an outer shadow. I mean, you can do whatever you want here, okay? And you're gonna make a box, okay?
Mine's gonna be a very red box, yes.
Yep. And I'm gonna give everyone. Okay, you confused me. The checked the checkbox file is called box, and now my file is called box. My brain will explode.
Ellen, Ellen's messing with you. No. Yes.
Well, and Ellen also needed a box today, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a discussion. So I'm going to move my box out of the way. And
Okay.
I'm just going to kind of pause here for a moment. Richard and I can sit and chat, because take a moment here and make something that is meaningful to you.
No,
I'll show you.
Don't make it
No?
meaningful. We don't have a week to wait for someone to.
Okay.
If we let Nick make it meaningful, it'd be a week, and it'd be like, oh, it's got to be perfect, and every pixel has to be perfect. So, yeah. So, anyone have questions where we're at? We've drawn a box. Yes, everyone.
Okay.
Megan.
go
Okay.
and
Yeah, we
bring
need
my
Megan
box
here.
back.
Megan, we need chatty from Megan. Megan, we're all good. Megan says we can go, so move forward.
Perfect. Okay, so now we're over here, and this is my box that is done.
Okay.
One thing to be aware of, and we'll come back to this in a moment, if you simply took the rectangle and drew it on screen, you need to add a second object. There needs to be two physical objects on screen.
Really?
Okay. And I'll come back to why that is in a moment. Okay, so we're going to go to our checklist.
Well, shoot.
And
Now I'm going to put. Do I have to put two boxes on it, or do I put the word package on there?
You got to have two objects. Don't worry about package. We haven't gotten to that yet.
I know, but it's on your screen. You're screwing me up. All right. So now I have two boxes on my screen. All right.
Yeah, you can copy and paste, Megan.
Yep. Copy paste. So I got two boxes.
Perfect.
Now what?
Now, if you guys go to your handy checklist, it's going to say we need to make a payload layout. And really, this should just say name. We already have the payload layout, okay? And so there's some text in here to highlight, or just click this handy button and it should copy it for you. Back in layout mode, we're going to click on the pencil in the upper left-hand corner to rename this layout, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to name the layout that text that
Is
I
that
showed you
two,
guys.
I actually don't have the checklist here, so I'm going to type this. Is it 2 underscores? Is that what that is?
2 underscores. It is absolutely imperative that this be all spelled 100% correct. Double underscore, FM, add-on, template, directives. I think it's case sensitive. I'm not 100% sure. Underscore, EN. And I'm going to pause for a moment, and I do want to add a little note about the EN.
That's the English, right? So
correct. So this part is the localization, and add-ons can be done. Can be done in multiple localizations. I'm doing mine in English because, well, that's what I'm doing mine in. So if someone wants to do theirs in a different localization, we can. Once you have that, you're gonna hit OK. So I'm gonna leave this on here for a moment. Again, you can copy and paste it from the checklist, or there's a little button that should save it to your clipboard.
Fancy. All right. Yeah, Nick's going to be French, I'm sure. Yeah. I told Nick to get his butt in here, but Larry's here. Larry, you going to take time to follow along with us? Nothing like the half our Marines are on time, the other half come sliding in late. So we're doing it. So those of you, we are doing step-by-step follow through. Kristian, I'm going to pop my screen up here real quick so you can see. Yeah. So we have our handy-dandy laptop here. I actually drawn little red boxes. You probably can't see my red boxes are on here. So we're building along so we actually get to build this. So when you're done, you will have built your own add-on, okay?
And if you're done, maybe throw that in Discord so we can just kind of get a sense from people, or if you need more time.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and close this. But if anyone is stuck at this point, they don't know how to make their box, they don't know what to name the layout, shoot that into Discord. The point of today is to go slow. There are no dumb questions. There are just dumb people.
Okay. Nope. That would be me. I've got that part covered. All right, so let me flip back over here to your screen. All right, so Megan, are we good? Yes? Ed, good. Larry, I guess Larry was here on time. I just missed it.
All right.
Let's see. Yep, she's good. So, all right, next step.
Perfect. And yes, my box that you guys see on screen is probably not the best three-dimensional box out there. I'm not a graphic designer.
I'm waiting for someone to ask me how they draw that. Just so
well, I saw someone mention they can't tell if the front box or the back box is bigger, and I figured you didn't want to pay me to spend a lot of time to make my three-dimensional box look nice.
Yeah. All right. Next.
I want to answer Ed's question real quick, so I'm going to go back here. So, Ed, you said yours shows records from box. Mine says unknown. It doesn't matter. I'll explain what's going on there. If you didn't delete your table in the beginning, then the layout that is created is based off of that table. I deleted my table. You guys don't need any tables for this, but Ed, don't worry about deleting it. It doesn't matter. Okay. So I see Ken is good. Megan is good. Oh, you deleted it and still shows it.
All right.
I wouldn't fret too much about it.
All right.
Okay. Maybe you didn't delete the TO from the relationship graph, just the table. But in any event, don't worry about what this says right here. The only reason I deleted the table, and this can come in a very future conversation on add-ons, is this idea that they actually don't need a table. It's really interesting. But you can have tables and records and lots of other things. But we're starting really simple. All right. From what I can tell, the people are getting caught up here. What do you think there, boss?
You can keep going. Keep the next
All
step.
right. Okay, so let's go to my checklist. So I've made the payload. This layout is the payload. Now, add-ons can have a whole lot of layouts, but this one layout is very special, okay? And in this add-on, we only have one layout. It's really simple, okay? The next thing we need to do is we need to group our objects on screen, okay? That's why you needed 2 objects. So mine has 2 rectangles and some lines. So I want you to highlight all those items. And I usually do the Command R or Control R on a Windows, but I believe that you can group them up here with the Arrange dropdown. It's the first choice to group them. Group them all into a single object. You're looking at my screen, you'll know they're grouped because they'll get these 2 kind of squares next to each other to indicate they are a grouped object. Okay. Once you have grouped those objects, you're going to go back to the checklist, and there's a spot on here that you can highlight or click the little clipboard.
Yeah.
Come back to your object, and in the first panel of the inspector, the ruler, you can name the object. Okay.
Okay.
And when you paste the text in from the checklist, the first part is going to say name of add-on. Replace the name of add-on with whatever you would like to call your add-on today. Mine is called RCC Box. I changed my name earlier. Box, RCC Box. This is also absolutely imperative that it all be spelled correctly. I don't suggest that anyone try to type this. I suggest you copy and paste it.
All right. Can you?
We're going to pause for a moment.
The problem is I can't. If I fire up Discord on my laptop, something's going to blow up. Can you drop me the that file into Slack real quick for me?
This box?
Your checklist into Slack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or maybe you already did that. Or you already did that. I'm sorry. Let me get that.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, it's actually, if you go to there, it's the first thing on the list, or the last message.
Christian. There we go. Yeah, because I don't want to. So we really need that. You really need the checklist. You know.
I'm actually as basic as today's demo is. I'm probably going to use this checklist moving forward, because every time I go to make an add-on, I'm like, oh, what is the name of that stupid layout? What is the name of the object? Like that, those 2 things, that is what you're taking away from today. That this layout has to have this name, and the objects on that layout need to be grouped and named. Now, if you guys are paying close attention, you might notice that the button I have on screen that you shouldn't have yet, we're going to make it next, isn't grouped with my object. Okay? Everything that's grouped together is you're gonna see it later on. It is part of the add-on in future files. Anything that's not grouped on there is a note or something for yourself that isn't necessarily a part of the add-on. Okay. If that's confusing, don't worry about it.
You'll cover it in a second. So Megan has a question. The name of add-on is the name of the file that we made. I wanted to ask the same question.
That's what I would do. Yes.
But that's not required.
It's not. You'll notice that mine, by accident, is RCC no space box, and the name of the file is box RCC.
Okay.
So
it's always
I would name them as similar.
It's always the underscore and then that block of text.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that our add-on is only this grouped object, and everything else on the layout will be ignored.
Correct. In fact, for today's demonstration, I'm going to further. So we have this button here called package, which you guys don't have yet. We're going to make it next. But I'm going to add some text on here. This is not part of my add-on. Okay. Oh, look, I'm going to put it on the layout. It doesn't need to be off.
Yeah, I was about to ask, is that required? Every time you do something like that, it's like, hey, is that required? Okay, good. So, Megan, you're good? Okay, the checklist, the Alpha Lima 92651, the checklist was up above. I will copy and paste it again for you so those of you have it. That's on Twitch. All right.
And if you guys are following along at home, which I hope you are,
yep,
we've just completed the 4th item on our checklist. And at this point, we've accomplished the bulk of the task, believe it or not.
That seems very weird.
That seems very weird?
Yeah.
We're almost done. So the next 3 items, and this is what I was saying, Richard, I could have made the checklist more complicated, blah, 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 I didn't. For today's demo, you guys are going to skip optional relationships steps 1, 2, and 3. I want to repeat that. For today's demo, skip the next 3 ones that say optional relationship. Okay. We're not making any relationships. Moki, I am glad to hear that you're having fun.
Well, Kristian's not having fun, but I'm telling you, Kristian, everyone who hasn't done, everyone,
talking about.
Everyone, yeah. Well, Kristian's like, oh, this is gonna be so boring. I'm like, no, dude, trust me. Everyone, I said, very few people have built add-ons except for you and probably Kyle.
Okay, so again, we're skipping these 3 steps. Now we're gonna go ahead and make a button. Okay, so go back to your layout, take your button tool, and draw a button. And you can call the button whatever you want. I'm gonna call mine package.
Okay, so I need a button.
I'm making a second button just so I can show you guys.
So I'm going to make like a legit button with an edge and everything on it. Let's see.
Take a moment, make a nice looking button. So we've made our button, and now go ahead and double click on your button.
Okay.
And it's a single step, no script, but we're going to go ahead and click on the single step. And I'm going to repeat this again. You have to be using FileMaker 19. So right now, anyone who didn't realize they weren't using 19 is going to figure it out real quick. The script step that you're going to look for is save a copy as an add-on package. Okay. In fact, I'm going to delete my script step and see if I can't remember this from save. There it is. It's the second choice if you type save. I'm going to pause for a moment, make sure everyone found that. If anyone can't find it, Slack us. And then there's one more step here. Don't close this window yet.
Save a copy of package. Okay.
Okay. Where it says window name, we need to go ahead and click on that.
Yeah.
Or the gear wheel on the end.
Yeah.
And the way that the packaging works is you have to tell it, when you have FileMaker running, you might have multiple files open, multiple windows open. And the way that the add-on packaging works is it says, hey, of all these windows I have open, this is the one that is the add-on. This is that payload layout that you all named. Okay. To make it real simple, what we're going to do is a get function. So type get and hit return. And I don't know, my coaching customers, whenever I say type return, they type it. You're going to type the word get and hit the return key, and then window name. Okay.
Oh, got it.
You can actually type it out like this if you want. Get parentheses window, and that's just going to get the name of the window that you currently have in focus.
I screwed that up. Get. Oh, I see what I did. I got get summary, and then I had a window. I was like, what? Get window name. Cool.
Don't worry about this replace UUIDs for now. You can just ignore that. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and close mine, and I'm going to pause for a moment to look over here at Discord. Does anyone hand up in the air stuck on that part?
Okay, Leland Long, important note, the grouped items has to be in the bottommost group of the object list in order to be used in the add-on. For multiple groups, the bottommost group becomes the add-on. This was detailed and credited to Matt Petrowski's add-on video.
That could be very well true. I typically, in my add-ons, I don't have a lot of other things on the layout. And I guess just by coincidence, mine was the bottom one, so... where did Leland post that? Was that in Twitch?
It's in Twitch. I'm just gonna copy paste it over here. It's in Twitch. He posted that. So
that'd be interesting to experiment with.
Well, once again,
Leland? Are you saying if there's 2 grouped objects versus 1, or just anything?
Yeah, no, he's saying for multiple groups, right? It's there. You can see it. Multiple groups.
Leland, important note: the grouped item has to be the bottommost grouped object list in order to be used in the add-on for. Interesting, because the documentation, it just needs to be. I guess I've never had an add-on where I would have multiple group things on the payload layout, so good pointer there.
Well, and what's also interesting about it points out the fact that you know, in the book we talked about this very specifically, and I'll just deviate briefly because it's kind of relevant here. And that is this idea of what is a preview capability of the FileMaker platform. So Claris is acting like this isn't a preview function, but one of my definitions of what a preview feature is a feature that's not final, it's not locked, it's not fully baked, it's not fully done. And so Claris will either have a feature that they call it a preview, or they will have a feature which they don't provide documentation to. Either one, you can basically take it to the bank that it's a preview subject to change. This feature, they're not really running around calling it a preview anymore, but there is no Claris documentation on it, right? It's like that when they say, oh, would you like some documentation? They reference you to Todd, and this is as even of last week, Kristian. They reference Todd Geist's blog post from like last year, right?
That's the only documentation that I'm really familiar with.
Right, I know, but Todd Geist, as much as he's awesome, does not represent Apple corporate.
Yeah.
And as a result, that's not official. Therefore, it's not an official feature. So it's there. It's a preview. So understand in the back of your mind that subject to the requirements of the or the needs of the corporation of Apple, this may or may not be changed. But just understand that because the documentation doesn't exist, that's a dead giveaway. It's not final. Otherwise, they would have some sort of help documentation on this. So.
Yeah, I think things evolved a little bit. We're not going to go through this today. I've showed this in a previous stream, but this is one of those documents that the guys put out on how to make add-ons.
Sure.
And it is useful. It was helpful. It got me to where I am. But yeah, I would agree that it's not complete, and it's kind of hard to call this documentation from a company with like Apple's caliber.
Well, Apple, is doing a fine job, but I mean, it's just like when people. It's happened to even me too briefly. I would get some inside information from Claris. Claris, once they would prefer to have the information out there, but they don't want to distribute it officially. And so they want it out there, but they don't want to say it. So they have someone else say it for them, which is kind of what Todd's done for them. And so it allows them to have deniability if you botch it really badly or they decide to change their mind. Right. So that's kind of what's going on with this. Right.
One thing there's a couple things I want to slightly digress to till we do the last part here, because we're actually really close. One of them is Luca want to know, hey, does the add-on take care of the theme? This is a slightly more advanced topic, so I'm not going to get really into it. The short answer, if I remember correctly, is yes, it does package up the theme and styles. Steve Allen, another engineer at RCC, was showing me an add-on earlier in the week that he made that similar to some of the ones you guys have seen from Calvin and Art, where there's like a button and you go to something just totally separate from the file with your own windows. In that realm, packaging up the theme and the style can work because you're in your own place. And again, this is a more advanced topic, so Trixie and everyone else, don't worry too much about this at this moment. But as I've actually been using my add-ons now regularly with my clients. And one of the things that has come to my attention is virtual menus that some of you may remember. I made it look really nice. I think it actually looks great. And I went and I added it into a customer's file that's based off a starting point, and it looks terrible because it doesn't match what's in their file. So Luca, something that is a more advanced technique that we'll get into in another video is maybe using the theme and style of the target before you do this next step. Because then when you go and drag and drop it in the future, it will actually look exactly like the source file. But for now, I don't want you guys to worry too much about that.
Well, we also have tomorrow too, so it's not like
we can talk. And in fact, Luca, it's on my checklist. It's at the very bottom here. Why don't those things scroll? Gotcha reminder, match the theme before installing. But for today, we don't even need to worry about those too much.
Okay, so moving along.
Yeah. One other thing I want to point out too before we do this last step. In there was a thing about UUIDs, and I want to talk about this slightly. Everyone here, for the most part, has been watching Nick's UI UX presentation and a lot of Nick stuff, and I'm going to guess that the bulk of you are familiar now with what a UUID is in terms of records. But underneath the hood of FileMaker, all of the elements of a file have IDs that we don't necessarily see, even as developers. The layouts have IDs, the scripts have IDs, the value lists have IDs. In some of my presentations, I've showed you how you can get those. Well, what I've learned in the add-on process is the file itself has a UUID. those special names that we used, swap out part of what's in there for the file's UUID. The reason I mention this now is it matters is you guys might make this box and go, this is awesome. I'm going to take this file and I'm going to duplicate it in order to make my next add-on, and you're going to run into a snag. And we'll come back to, I think that's in my gotchas. It's in my gotchas, so we'll come back to that, but I just want to point that out. Okay, I'm going to make sure there's any questions. My checklist is missing the last step, drag and drop. Scroll down. I think I forgot to. Everybody, if you go into layout mode and double click on the portal, turn on allow scrolling. Kind of forgot to do that for everybody. I was wondering why mine wasn't scrolling either. So TK, you either need to make the file the window larger or do that, and then you can scroll. So you guys got me.
All right.
Oh, okay. Back to what we're doing. Okay, so everybody, so we've got our boxes. We've got our layout named appropriately. We have the objects all grouped together, and we have our button. Okay, push the button.
Okay, browse mode. Push the button.
Browse mode. Push the button.
Okay.
And you probably saw this window show up with a bunch of stuff that makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah. What is this?
Take that window and just close it.
Okay.
We'll come back to that in a moment. Just close it. I wish I could close it for you.
Okay, I closed it. All right, now what?
Okay, now I want you guys to take some other file. I'm going to be using a copy of Starting Point. But I've also got a blank file if that's easier to see used. Whoa, that's huge. Okay, I'm going to pause for a moment because we didn't give everyone a heads up on this. I should have. You need some sort of target file.
Should I go ahead and close the add-on builder?
You can. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just move them all screen so that I have less clutter going on.
I'm going to create a new something and like grab the contact starter solution. Do that.
And if you guys are following the checklist, we just package the add-on using the save script, and now the next step we're going to do is use the package to install add-on per machine. That's what we're on. I'm going to pause for a moment so everyone kind of catch up. I can't use my checklist because it's not modifiable. That I can't help you. Richard, is your checklist modifiable?
Nah, it'll be if you're on Windows and you bring it down as a zip somehow. It's a zip. You have a Windows person who doesn't.
Wait, Tracy, are you using Windows? Oh well, okay. You need to put that into the garbage can where it belongs and go to apple.com and have Amy get you a proper computer.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yep, you click the button, Moki, and did something happen? Could not be created on the disk. Use a different name. Make more room on the disk. Okay, that's Windows issues. I can't help you with that. And I'm not trying to be mean or joking on that. That's I don't know if you have OneDrive turned on or your PC is not letting you save the file there. Couple things you can try, Andrea. Try renaming the file. So depending on what you named Mac doesn't like to have dashes. So make sure there's no dashes. Maybe try to make it just a very simple word like box and try it again and see if it works. And what you're going to be looking for, Andre, I don't know if it's Andre or Andre. I'm sorry.
Megan's having the same problem now. So
So I'm going to guess that it's the name of the file itself. So look at, maybe even close your add-on and reopen it and see what it says up here. You want this to be really basic. And what FileMaker does, everybody, by default, is it names the window after what the file is called. That's why one of the original steps was name the file what you want the add-on called. So start with something real basic. I'm going to look at the picture that Andre sent.
Oh, the layout has that name. Okay, she got the correct layout name. So then
I need to know what it says. So on a Mac, it would say right here. Here's what you can do, Andre. Go to your data viewer under Tools, click on the plus, and do Get Layout Name. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, Get Window Name. Okay. And I'm curious what this says right here. That's the name of your file as wherever it's saved.
Well, I'm wondering if can the Windows people, you're not still inside the zip, are you? Right? I mean, this is such a Windows person thing, right? So when you're on a Mac, you download the zip, Mac won't let you use a file inside the zip. It makes you uncompress the zip, and then you have the file. If you didn't uncompress the file and you're still living inside the zip, then it's read-only, and you're going to have all sorts of problems.
That's an issue. That error message I see on my Windows clients all the time because, and I see it sometimes on Mac too, they don't like the names of certain files, but Windows is really picky. I've got a customer who actually just had to stop using one Windows machine for another because OneDrive wouldn't allow FileMaker to save files to his computer, period. It would give him that error message. The issue that the Windows users are running into right now is most definitely kind of like a Windows issue. And that's not me like, oh, go buy a Mac. I am curious what that issue would be.
Well, you can get information on the directory, and then they don't call it read-only. I think they call it archive or something like that. You Windows people need to chime in here and provide tech support because the Mac guys.
Yeah, that error message that he sent. Well, and it's interesting. It says question mark could not be created in the disk, so it didn't actually know what to save the file as.
Okay, so back up. Can you guys just save it to the desktop instead?
Yeah, Jake, I'm kind of curious on her machine on that thing. If she tries to do if she goes into preview mode and does save as PDF, can she save that layout to the desktop or to anywhere on the computer? Or does she get the same error message? Andre, same thing to you. Nothing, even hard coding the name doesn't work. My file is on the desktop.
Megan has a really good information there.
When we hit the troubleshooting again, so I opened the script debugger and the tried to PDF, I got error 800. Yeah, so the error message that they're displaying is error 800. Error 800 basically means that the operating system of your computer won't let you save a file with that name. This happens to me on Mac
to that location. To that location. So like on Macs, I have customers that frequently want the dates in the file name. And if you do dashes, Mac says no, error 800. Server does this a lot for different things. And Windows does it for file. Like what's really weird is Andre shows a question mark. It doesn't seem to know what the name of the file is. And I don't know why that is. Maybe close it and reopen it. You shouldn't have to do that. Normally it's a character or a location on the drive that won't let it be saved there. So yeah, on PC, instead of getting name of window, give it a different name than the file. I get window, add to, and it worked. Thank you. We got a Windows user here. So if you guys are on Discord, look at what mjohnson24 said. So we're going to switch gears for a moment on the tech support issues. Now we're going to open up some demo file that you have. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't recommend a file that you regularly use because we're going to probably delete the add-on afterwards. So this is a copy of starting point that I have. It can be a blank file though. It doesn't matter. Okay. And I'm just going to go, I'm going to do it in preferences right here. So I'm going to go into layout mode. I'm going to do a Control L. Mm-hmm. All right, and I need to make some room on the layout, so I'm just going to delete these charts, okay? So hopefully you guys have some space. And then over here in the left panel, and if you guys can't see the left panel for some reason, you can toggle your water wings up in the right-hand corner here. I'd forgotten I called those things water wings.
I thought you'd like that. All right, and so you're going to go to the add-on section of our water wings, and we're going to hit a plus. And we'll talk about what you see here in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and say save. And this marketplace of add-ons comes up, okay? And I want you all to try to find your add-on in here. What was mine called? Box RCC. I think you can search for them.
Mine's down at the bottom. I see mine at the bottom, which is cool.
Perfect.
So I select
no description. No, you're going to select it, and you're going to hit choose.
Okay.
Okay.
So now it's my understanding it's kind of partially installed or not fully installed, but kind of the mechanics of this.
So what we just did is remember at the very beginning, you asked me what's an add-on. And I said an add-on is basically a FileMaker file that's installable. What we did is we just installed that file into this file. If there were any tables or any fields or records or scripts or custom functions or styles or themes or anything that's in that file, it's now in this file, okay? Including any layouts other than the payload. The payload is a special layout. Now, the add-ons that we all just made together, they don't have any of those other things. So this step is kind of invisible. You can't really tell that anything.
So it's installed. It's installed everything except the payload, the payload group.
Exactly.
That was on the one layout. Okay.
Exactly. So if there were other layouts, if there were records, all of that would
Like
be
supporting,
brought over.
like if we did signature capture, you had a supporting layout, it would have stuck that already in there too. Okay.
In fact, you know what, Luca, I think I'm saying that right. I want to come back to something Luke asked. What about the theme? We didn't go over this, but the file that I use is a brand new FileMaker 19 file, so it used Apex. And RCC starting point 20 existed before Apex did. But if I come over here, brought it over. It should have.
Oh,
it might have already been in here just because I'm in FileMaker 19, but we can look and see that in a moment. Yeah. But again, it's a little weird on how that works because it can still kind of break things. Once you guys, is everyone up to speed here? We've installed it. We're ready to drag and drop it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our add-on. We're going to drag it on screen.
Yeah, TK wants to know what the little thingy at the top is up there. The little, it's an it's a, the little.
What is this? The dot?
No, left. Above the add-on.
Oh, that right there?
One. Yeah.
That's the category that this is in, which is nothing. So let's go. If we go back to the marketplace, I'm going to hit save. This is JavaScript add-ons. These are table add-ons. These are inventory transactions, utility, and then these don't have, if you click on it, you'll notice that there's no info. So later, not in this session, I'm going to teach you guys how to fill that out. But that's not today. That's definitely more complicated. That folder that opened up, well, I'll show, I'll come back to it in a moment. I'm going to explain what that folder is that opened up and what all that stuff is. But the answer, TK, is that this basically means we don't have a category for this add-on. Ken, nothing happens when you drag the add-on over? Okay. That's a really good question that I'm going to try to answer here. Go back to your add-on and go into layout mode. And I think it was Leland actually gave us one other troubleshooting step to this. Ken, you need to make sure that whatever it is you were planning to drag and drop is grouped and has that name correctly labeled on there. According to Leland, it also probably should be the lowest thing on the list if you have other grouped items. This hasn't really been much of an issue, but I usually don't have anything else on the layout. But come back to your add-on and make sure that you've got it named correctly. Make sure the layout is named correctly. Those are the two building blocks. And then go ahead and even just package it again. You can do this over and over again.
Andrea, the package, I saved mine to the desktop on the Mac, right? Yeah,
no, that's not where the add-on is saved though.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's saved.
Well, so hang on, and this can get a little confusing. There is the FileMaker file that you created. I don't know where you guys put that. That really doesn't matter. It can be your desktop. It can be in a folder. It can be in documents. But the other thing that happens that we didn't really talk about, that window for the people that it successfully worked for, if you're on a Mac and you go to, so you go over here to Go and look for library. If library doesn't show up, I'll teach you guys a Mac trick. You hold the Option key and the library will show up. Don't mess around with stuff in here too much. This is kind of how your computer works. And then you're going to go to Application Support. And I'm going to go through this part kind of quickly because it doesn't matter as much. But then you have FileMaker. And this is where you can find things like your plugins as well as your add-ons. And that folder that you all saw earlier, if we go here, is this. This is a bunch of JSON, XML, and then also some images. When you're in the marketplace, this is the information that describes your add-on. It's also the add-on itself. And the way that Claris wants you all to install these on other computers. So let's say, Ken, we get yours working. I'm going to double check your message here in a moment. Let's say you go, this is great. I love my box, but I'm on my Mac iMac and I need it on my laptop. Well, you would go into here and you take this little icon right here, .fm add-on, and you can send it to the other computers or other people. And if they double click on this, it will install the add-on into this folder.
Okay, I have a really important question here, and it's driving me nuts. So let's say that we don't like what we did. Like, for example, let me show you my screen real quick. So this is a little moment that I'm having at the moment, right? I'm going to bring this over here, and
I can't
hang on, just wait. Oh, you can't see it. Everyone else is going to see it. So
I can open Twitch back up. But,
is it going to do it? Is it just too much? Is it maybe at an angle? Can I do it at an angle? Okay, everyone see those kind of red boxes right there? I've made 2 red boxes. That was my group. Okay, and the red is a 5-point line around the outside of the box. The boxes showed up as white. The red is not there, and I have no idea why. So obviously I have to mess around with, play with it. So the question is, how do I rev this? What is the process for revving the package? Because it saved it on your computer, then it saved it in the file, and so I gotta like do something to like try it again. So how do I do that?
Great question. So there are. Have you installed it in the file yet? Did you do that? Like, does it show in the add-on panel over here?
I'm sorry, I'm muted. I'm sorry. Yes, I installed it. Yes,
Okay.
it was over there.
Why don't you go do this? This is a bigger discussion. It's a really, really good question.
Yeah, but we all need to know how to, like, because we're going to do it, like, fix it. Like, we screwed up.
Correct.
I want Rev 2. I want to try it again.
So let's start with this. If you go to the add-on on the left hand and right-click on it, you can uninstall it.
Yeah.
Start with that. And
Okay.
you have a choice. Do you want to permanently remove everything that you installed? Go ahead and just say yes.
Okay. All right.
And you'll notice my box is going to disappear. Any scripts, tables, custom functions, all that stuff, it's gone.
Okay, great.
Okay. Now, it's still, I don't have the library open. It's still in my library. Okay. Now, for the situation that you have just described, where's my box? What you're going to do, Richard, is go back to your add-on, make the changes that you want to, and just repackage it.
Okay, yeah, but I knew that if I repackage, it's going to save it. Would it overwrite the other one? And then how does the rest of it know it's there? Blah, 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 blah. So that was kind of so I'm going to have to ungroup this, and I'm going to put it like I'm going to leave the red in here, but I'm going to make it Rev 2. Okay.
So I did that part kind of fast. So, Richard, I'm going to show everyone how to find this folder again.
Yes. So at least on the Mac, and then on Windows, we can kind of, I don't know if people that wanted to listen where that's at. So.
And then, so I'm going to go ahead and do Go. And you might have to hold Option down to see library. Mine is set to just show it anyways. So go to your library. And the first choice is Application Support if they're sorted alphabetically. So you're going to open Application Support, and you're going to find FileMaker. Which
Alphabetically, you're not alphabetic. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was. And once you're in FileMaker, under Extensions, we've got Add-ons.
So, and you got a bunch. Most of us won't have any in there. So
yeah, no, just ignore this giant folder of add-ons.
that could we could delete it out of here. Like if I wanted to unwind it and try it again, I could delete it out of here if I wanted to.
Yeah. I'm gonna. So here's box RCC. You notice there's actually two of them. So I'm gonna do two things. First, I'm just gonna delete the actual add-on package. You'll notice I still have FM add-on, and if I double click on this, it should rebirth the box. So that's how Claris wants us to install these, but RCC has a better way. But we're not going to talk about that today. Okay. And then Richard, I can delete both of them.
Yeah.
Now, don't do that if you have it in a file somewhere.
Why?
You're going to hose yourself.
Well, yeah, but most other people won't have it. Like if you're going to
today doesn't matter. Delete it. I'm just saying that you asked the question about revisioning, and we're probably not going to really talk about that today. That is a much bigger conversation that matters a lot. How do we? Well, it's here and it's in the file, and what happens when I change my add-on?
Well, because we definitely have to talk about it. I mean, it's 2:00 right now. We definitely talk about it. Tomorrow's going to run long, I got a feeling. Mine, I still didn't get, so I don't know what the red color around the edge of my boxes did. I did it twice. So I did another one that has a Rev 2 and a little box. I said the little red boxes, and it comes over in the client. I got 2 white boxes as Rev 2. So it kind of works. So maybe this is why it's like a kind of a preview feature, because it kind of works.
What's your issue though?
I have 2 white boxes. I put a red edge around them. They're not like, I'm not using custom themes and shared styles. I just drew the object, right?
And when you go to drag and drop it in your source file, it's missing the red?
It's missing the fat 5-point edge around the outside of the boxes that happen to be red. So
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's one of those things you got to test it. But I did Rev 2, so it replaced it. So.
And there are some known graphical errors with the add-ons. For example, I figured he'd talk at least once today.
I love your dog. His dog. That dog is the most moochiest dog. It's like a welfare dog. It comes to me at the office and I'm like having a hot dog, and I get one bite of the hot dog, and the dog's going, and I have to give the whole piece of meat to the dog because it's giving me the.
You mean the whole package? Richard shows up and asks me, hey, can I give the dog a hot dog or a string cheese? And I say, sure. And he gives the dog 5 hot dogs.
You're a nice guy.
Bo loves you. So one of the main graphical errors that I'm most familiar with, and there are some fixes for this, is if you do like a button bar, when you drag and drop it, the button bar comes over perfectly fine, but then there's individual buttons on top of it, like it separated them. And the way that you fix a lot of these graphical errors is you group the object before you even group it into the main payload object. Let me take a look here. The error is gone, but in the debugger, it gives me an error. Window is missing. Question from Twitch. The error is gone. So that means that you're telling. So the person in Twitch who has that error, what it sounds like they're doing to me is whoever did the -2 probably has 2 windows open. Over here, if you're telling this what window to open and it doesn't match what you see right here or what get window name is, then it's not going to work. Basically, the way that the package works is you're telling it what window you have open right now to package. And those things have to match. The way that I primarily reconcile this is by just having my file and I have it all just matched. The file name is the window name, is the add-on. Yeah, exactly, Milky.
And so Peter Geen says pop-up error is gone. So yeah, it's just kind of people learning to manage this and dealing with the idiosyncrasies of the operating system. I mean, half the time here we're spending today is just dealing with operating systems. It's just so funny.
And I have some questions for them too. I just want to show them too. TK, maybe you already saw this. So once you guys install your add-on and you drag and drop it, depending on this gets into the conversation of what your add-on is. For some add-ons, that's it. You're done for the whole file. But like TK's is very similar to the box or the cylinder. So maybe I want to have, I got my box. I love my RCC box, and I want to have it in contacts too. And I can go over here, and it's still there because it's in the file now, okay? And I can drag and drop another box into another module. Now, depending on what your add-on is, this may contextually make sense, or it might not at all. But I just want to kind of show that because that's one of the mechanisms of how this whole add-on.
Yeah, but you're saying it still has to be in that directory, right? And I'm like, why does it have to be in the directory if we've already if it's in the file? If it's in the file.
Two answers. So here we're going to do an experiment live with everybody so they can watch this. Okay. So I've got box and starting point 20 right here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know where the box went. We'll go to the home screen. There it is. Now watch this. I'm now going to go to that folder and I'm going to nuke the add-on. So where is box RCC?
If this gets rid of it, this is really fragile.
So it's gone. Still in my file.
Okay, so then what's the problem?
Let's go to a new layout.
Yeah.
Let's go to estimates. And let's just, I'm just going to delete everything off screen.
Oh, I see what's going to happen. So it took it out of the folder. It glued it on the layout, but it's not in a repository in the file itself. Which this implies. See, this is okay. Nothing personal. Okay, Mary Margaret, put caught in your ears. Okay, this is bullshit. Okay, because if it's over here, this implies it's in the file. Okay, and if you drag it over here, it should still be in the file. And what this is saying, it's aware of it that it's in a directory on your computer. So if you gave this
like a plugin, Mocha,
yeah, if you gave this file to someone else, they would see this here, but they wouldn't be able to drag and drop it.
So I ran into this. I have a customer's file that I use add-ons on, and I was trying to show Calvin the add-on, and I was really confused on the M1. When I would drag it, nothing would happen. And what it is when you hit this plus and you install it, you get all the source code, you get the file into there, but this mechanism of dragging and dropping the payload is like a plugin. It comes from the repository in the extensions on the computer. So anyone who has the file and is a user can interact with the add-on, whether it's on their computer or not. But the developers who want to add and install this onto there need to have that in there. And that's why I said earlier, once you install an add-on into a file, be very reluctant to delete the folder out of here. And then this gets into a really more difficult conversation or advanced conversation of versioning and, well, what happens when I update the add-on? Because, and this is where I'm still doing some experimenting, but Richard, let's say you dragged your box on a couple layouts and then later went back to the source file and changed the colors and repackaged it. I think that when you go and drag it in the future, it's going to have the new code. Now, what happens if the new code and the old code have some sort of conflict? That's where a much bigger conversation comes in.
Just so you know, so I'm going to answer Larry's question. So what happens once you put it on the layout, it's there, okay? But if you're in the file and you're in layout mode, it will show you the add-ons you've dragged in there, whether or not the add-on code is still available on that particular computer is the problem. That's the misleading part, right? It doesn't really show you the fact that that add-on, it shows it's been used in the file, but doesn't show it's really available on the computer for you to drag and deploy into additional layouts is the idea, right? So that's the misleading part of this. And yeah, so
imagine this, you guys, or Larry specifically. Imagine you had a tab control somewhere. I'm just gonna go to contacts. Whoa. Already there. I'll go to contacts. So we've got this tab control here. Let's pretend just for a moment this is an add-on. And it works, and you can go into layout mode and you can edit it. But let's imagine that you could actually uninstall the tab control button from up here. When you delete the add-on files in the background, it's like deleting that button off screen. So you still have the tab control in here. The tab controls that you have still work. The users can use them, but you've lost the ability to drag a tab control.
It's no longer it's no longer a resource you can drag onto additional layouts. That's kind of the important part of that. Yeah. So it gives us an add-on.
Yeah,
we give it to a client. We'll be fine unless. Well, okay, so. Yeah, so
for users of the database, none of this really.
This doesn't matter. This is so Larry, you create the package, you put it in this file, you drag it on the layout, you give the file, not shared on a host, you make a copy, you zip it, you give it to someone else. They use the file just fine. They're in browser mode. They use it. They use that add-on. It's fine. They go into layout mode. They see the add-on. If Kristian goes to layout mode, they see. Go to layout mode for me. They see this over here and they go, because you say, hey, they're a developer, they can have access to this. They see this, they try to drag it on the screen. It won't work because the package has never been loaded into their computer, right? So it's misleading. What I need everyone to do is you have questions, please shoot us an email to support at RC Consulting. I'm going to extend it to Monday. Kristian will have to clear a schedule on that. We'll have to go long tomorrow and long on Monday. We're going to teach you as much as we can. And we were going to show you the unsavory parts as we do it. And you'll see that, right? So, but I think this is very educational, right? So,
and Mark Johnson, I think it's Mark Johnson, it brought up a really kind of good point here, and I just want to echo this. The conversation that we're having right now isn't a user FileMaker conversation. It's a developer's conversation. Add-ons are very much a tool to the developers. I think Claris, in their infinite wisdom, thinks that basic users are going to get this and build their databases with them. And frankly, I think that these are much more used for developers. They have improved our ability to move code within the platform in ways that we've never had access to. But this is definitely for the developer-minded, whether you're a skilled developer or a new developer, but not users.
Yeah, it's a rough landing on two wheels, right? So there we go. All right, everyone, we greatly appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. This has been educational for me, absolutely educational for me. I did not realize the little rough snag. It's like a piece of metal out there. You can cut your hand on it. But
and in that checklist, there's some other gotchas. I tried not to overload it, but we can also go over what some of those mean tomorrow. As I've actually started to very much functionally use these add-ons with customers now.
Everyone, appreciate it. Thank you.
has stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected, the quarterback. Great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Trying to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap, stands in, throws it left for Amendola, reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10, rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.